àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè lágbàáyé tí wọ́n ti fún bàbá kábíyèsí wọn làwọn àmì ẹ̀yẹ tó wà níbí. Lára àwọn irú àmì ẹ̀yẹ eléyìí, àmì ẹ̀yẹ tó fún wọn kọ́kọ́rọ́ sí Maryland ní Amẹ́ríkà lélẹ́yìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ onílùú. Àmì ẹ̀yẹ eléyìí, ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ní orílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà náà lọ fún ọ lámì ẹ̀yẹ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ onílùú. Àmì ẹ̀yẹ àwọn ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́jẹgbẹ́ EFCC gbogbo wọn lélẹ́yìí. Tá bá wá síbí, lára àwọn àlùmọ́nì ilẹ̀ tó wà nínú ilẹ̀ Ifẹ̀ lélẹ́yìí. Àwọn nǹkan tẹ́ ń wò yìí ọrọ̀ ni, n tó jẹ́ owó, ọrọ̀ tó jẹ́ ọrọ̀, owó ńláńlá ni. Ṣùgbọ́n eléyìí tẹ́ ń wò yìí tó dúró yìí, ó ní ọba Lufo Gbogbodirin nínú ìtàn Ifẹ̀. Ó ní ọba tó pẹ́ jù lórí àpèrè tó lò 422 years. Òun lọ́ba tó pẹ́, ìgbà tó wà lórí àpèrè, ìgbà tó ti ń dàgbà, ó wá bẹ Elédùmarè pé òun ti ń dàgbà ṣùgbọ́n òun fẹ́ kóun kú, òun fẹ́ kóun yí padà di nǹkan míì. Òun ló fi di ère nígbà tí ó dàgbà tán. Lára àwọn ohun tó jẹ́ ohun àlùmọ́nì nílẹ̀ Ifẹ̀ náà lélẹ̀. Okay. This that you see here has to do with some of the things on the planet that we talk about. You now see from here, Ọbàtálá is the Jupiter, Ọ̀ṣun Venus, Yemọja Moon, Òdùduwà Earth, Ọ̀rúnmìlà Sun, Olókun Neptune, Ọbalúayé Saturn, Èṣù Mercury, Ògún Mars, Ṣàngó, Uranus, and all these are just part to tell you that the Yoruba people, the system of the Yoruba people has existed before the white people came and transformed some of the things. Because we don't have most of these things written, we don't have it documented. The white people came and took over the ones that we have. So these are natural things we find within the soul of the faith. Okay. So besides this, now comes to this. These also are some of the natural materials we find here in Ife. Okay. And these are part of the things that it's all about money. We call it Ife gemstones. So all these are natural things. For this, they use it, some use it for beads, but they are very expensive, and some use it as for mercury. Now we now come to this. Before now, we have had 3 dynasties. The first dynasty, we call it Ife Odai, Ife, the creation of the world. Ife Odai existed for thousands of years. Those who live in Ife Odai were purely supernatural beings. The Yoruba people call them Irumole. Because they enjoyed everything on the earth, they started misbehaving. They said, but Elédùmarè sent them and told them, stop your misbehavior. They never listened. They said, why? You are up there, we are here. Hold your peace up there. We will hold our peace here. So Elédùmarè now entered the first dynasty with what we call thunderstorm. And that is why in the Yoruba methodology, they will tell you that so whenever there is thunderstorm, there is element of destruction in thunderstorm. So this now ended and now get back to the second dynasty. Those who survived the first dynasty now from the second dynasty, we call it Ife Oye Lagbo. We that we survived the storm, Oye Lagbo. So in Ife Oye Lagbo now, the supernatural being and the normal human being that coexisted in this ecosystem. But for the supernatural being, because of the experience they had in the first dynasty, which is Ife Odaye, they were calm, behaving correctly to the instruction of Elédùmarè. But those who are human beings, all they did was just, we speak here. And once we speak, somebody answers up there. We want to know who is up there. They started building castles. Elédùmarè now told them to stop building castles. Elédùmarè warned them, they never listened. But they wanted to see that person. If the person up there, is he a man or a woman? Is he fat, slim, or yellow, green? But those who were supernatural beings kept warning them that, look, we have seen it. We know what it can do. Please stop. They never listened. And that was what brought about this. They started building castles. Along the line, Elédùmarè authored their tongue. And that was the birth of different languages we have now. The second dynasty ended with flood. So when the second dynasty ended with flood, Elédùmarè now wanted somebody else to come on earth, to come and restructure the earth. Now sent 3 emissaries. The first one is called Oba Jegi Jegi. The second one is called Oba Jomi Jomi, and the third one is Oba Jekojeyo. They came to the heart and restructured the whole heart. Then I told the little man, the heart is sweet. We don't want to go back. Why can't you give us the privilege of being on earth? So a little man said, okay, I will let you be on earth, but you dissolve to every human being's body. And today, Oba Jegi Jegi lives in every one of us. Oba Jomi Jomi lives and everything. But I will explain that. Now, let me now send Odudua to come and take charge of the whole service of the earth, meaning the third dynasty. Akanlubebe in Yoruba is just what they call surveying, where you have the natural boundaries like river, big trees, mountains and stuff like that. When Eledumare now sent Odudua here, Odudumare now told Odudua, there are 3 emissaries I've sent earlier before you came, but these people will dissolve into the normal human being that would exist along with you. And that is why if you wake up in the morning, you are using your toothbrush or you're using chewing stick, you're experiencing Oba Jegi Jegi. If you wake up in the morning, either you're using water, either to bathe or to cook or to drink, you are experiencing Oba Jomi Jomi. So if whether in the morning, even in the day, you must eat food, there's an element of either salt or palm oil, Oba Jekojeyo. So everybody, every normal human being would experience the 3 emissaries now. But now, from here, the third dynasty, Odudua now became the first Ooni of the third dynasty. So when Odudua came to the service of the heart, already there were people who were left back, but when Odudua came, these people were left and saw that this man is a divine messenger from God. We don't have any option than to support him. That was why all other deities now came, accepted that, okay, you be our leader. And while they were coming, the man who now gave pathway to them is called Ogun. That is why they called Ogun Lomanlano. Because Ogun gave the pathway for all the emissaries and the ones that came with Odudua to Otufe. So Ogun was the one who was clearing the way. And that's why they called Ogun the pathfinder. He was the one creating the pathway for all the emissaries. So Odudua became the first Ooni of the third dynasty. From Odudua came Osogbogo Oba Makin. So Osogbogo Oba Makin became the second. Now came Ogun himself, who became the third. And you know why Ogun became the third person? When Odudua left, because of the fact that Ogun at that time used to be a small boy. But when Osogbogo Oba Makin left, Ogun had already matured, and he can at least you have served us, you created the way for us to pass, and so that was Ogun became the third Ooni. Now came Oba Lufon, Ogbogbo. The meaning of Ogbogbo Titi to fi di irin. Now be Oba Lufon, Ogbogbo. When he lived on earth, and he was superintending over the empire, and he had served for over 420 years on the throne. And he now discovered he's getting age and the strength is no more. But he prayed to Eledumare, I don't want to die, but I want to transform. And that was why it became what you see there. Now it became iron. Now Oba Lufon, Ogbogbo Dirin. So from all these, not to boil it, so Oba Lufon gave back to Oba Lufon Alayemore. Wherever you find any title Alayemore, they are always direct descendants of Oba Lufon. Now, from all these came this. Out of all the Ooni that I've served, only this Luwo is the only female. And Luwo is the mother of Telu. Telu founded Iwo town. Luwo is the originator of what we call ceramics and red carpet. Because of it's part of what Luwo did then still exists in almost every woman on earth. Unless the woman is not pretty. If you look at her, she's pretty and she's elegant, she's rich and she's strong. So Luwo does not walk on the bare floor. We now instruct all his workers, before I will leave from here to that place, there must always be something on the floor that will step. And that was why we call it traditional ceramics. They call it Apadi Luwo. So Luwo created that. And from that creation, Luwo now, people now started, the white people now came, now so that, okay, for you to show your elegance, you have to step on something, not on the bare floor. They now started their own called red carpet. Wow. So you can see the transformation now. So that, but Luwo started it, and it was from this traditional ceramics we now find what's called ties, there, all these things. Now from Luwo, now move all here, but let me come and bring you here. Now, I'll take you here. Denny Ologbela. Denny Ologbela and Origbagba both contested to be the Oni. But Denny Ologbela lost out of the contest. Origbagba became Oni. But when Origbagba became Oni, he didn't stay so long. Denny Ologbela has left to Okegbo. He has left to Okegbo, and already he had become the king in Okegbo. Then I wanted him to come back to Ife and still become Oni. They beckoned on him and told him, please come back. Okegbo is in Ondo State. Very close. So now when they spoke with him, he said, okay, I don't want to leave my people in Okegbo and come to Ife. And I don't want to collapse the two different empires. Fine, Ife is the kingdom, but Okegbo is a smaller empire. Already I've been enjoying the respect they give to me. The chiefs, the emissaries, the delegates now pleaded with him. Don't worry, you can still be king in Okegbo and you'll still be Oni in Ife. He now accepted becoming the Oni. So once you get to Okegbo, you still find some people wearing Ologbela in Okegbo in Ondo State.
So it was running into...
Yes, he had the privilege. Like what happened to Oromiyan. You know, Oromiyan, people don't know. Oromiyan superintended over 3 great kingdoms.
Okay.
He left Ife to establish Benin City in Edo State. After he left Benin City, went to Oyo-Alafin and established Oyo-Alafin. Now came back from Oyo-Alafin again to now become the king here in Ife. So you can see that 3 different kingdoms. So at that point, if you go to Benin City now, Oromiyan is the first crowned king in Benin City, history of Benin City. And if you go to Oyo, Oromiyan is what they still believe as the first person to be the bearded king in Oyo. And he still became the Oni. And most of us, we use this slang, Otise, not knowing that it's a name in Ife. They call it Ayetise, that the word is fine, the word is okay. But we use that slang, Otise. But you know, we use that slang. So now from there, when I come, Adeneko Olubishe the first. Adeneko Olubishe the first is the first Oni to give privileges to people to see Oni face to face. You can't see them. You only see them once in a year. All the Onis I have mentioned, you can only see them once in a year. But Adeneko Olubishe, there were crises between the people of Remo and Ijebu. So the white man now asked, who can give us facts about these 2 communities, these 2 people, who is the senior, who is... They now beckon on Adeneko. After that, they have spoken with him. I said, okay. The origination of Babawi means Baba says. He doesn't say anything. But his staff understands his body language. So when they came, and after they said that, so he now said, okay, because of that, what I will do is I will go and make peace with all of them. Now instructed the white man. After he has consulted Ifa, and said, for every river I will cross, there must always be sacrifices to that. And when he was leaving, all other obas along that road vacated their throne and stayed at the entrance of their town in respect for him that Ooni is going out. So no Ooni before Adelekun goes out. You can only see them once in a year because he has made the necessary sacrifice and rituals that he was supposed to make. And he went to Lagos, and after the whole thing, he came back. Now from here now came Adekola. From Adekola now came Ademiluyi Ajagunla Warikon. Ademiluyi Ajagunla Warikon is a great hunter. But because of the fact that he is a powerful hunter and very superlative and very powerful, it transforms into anything depending on the crisis at that time. So Ajagunla Warikon Ooni is a powerful hunter, so he understands he can transform to anything.
Like a woman
He's not a woman, but he can transform. It depends on whatever crisis around him. So from here now came Adesoji Aderemi. Adesoji Aderemi is the first out of all the Ooni that is lettered, educated, exposed, and very connected. As at the time he was the Ooni, it's still the same thing as the premier of the Western region, because of the fact that he studied abroad and he is connected to politicians and they have to respect him. Adesoji Aderemi formed what we call the Traditional Council of Nigeria, because it started in the Western region, and from the Western region now they now have to embrace it from other regions of Nigeria. So he is the one that brought about Obafemi Awolowo University, the teaching hospital. From here now came Oba Okunade Shijuade Olubusheri Ogun Ebiti Kimo Pirimole Osumosile Sumoseni Okumolosun Kumolata. From this you get to know Okumolosun. That means Osun. You know what Osun is? More or less like a traditional powder. So that if that child behaves well, you have to rub the body with traditional. So if otherwise, it will be atta.
stick and carrots.
Now from here, now came the reigning Ooni Okwade. These are now came Oba Ooni Adeyeye Enitan Babatunde Akande Ogunwusi Ojaja Kede, becoming the 51st Ooni. Ooni Adeyeye ascended the throne on the 7th of December 2015. That happens to be a Monday, and Monday in the traditional methodology of the Yoruba people means Ojo Aje, is a day of commerce. And after Kabiyesi had become the Ooni, he has transformed and he has changed the narratives, and he has changed the narrative from the traditional thing to be E-traditional. E-traditional, almost everything that you find around EA is about his own transformation, because when it came, a lot of things that we find there, like the museum and stuff like that, very soon now we still have to move to a bigger museum, probably by next month or 2 months' time. But this was part of his own innovation that brought about it. So for Ooni to be in the palace, Ooni has his own council that operates along with him, which the white people came and turned to. They now have to say we have a kind of parliamentary system, presidential system, all started from there. Now, here now, there are people in the cabinet here and people in the cabinet there. So some will now say, okay, we have the House of Senate and the Rep. So now let me start here. From here, the head of this to the right is called Obalufe. From Obalufe, you have what we call Obajio. From Obajio, you have what we call Obalorun. From Obalorun, called Jagunsin. From Jagunsin, we have Wasin. From Wasin, we now have Owajesi. From Owajesi, you have Obalaye and Akogun. This had to show the level that the ranking, so the hierarchy, yes, so that first, second, third, fourth, but Iye means Obalaye and Akogun, they are the same level. Now you have what we have Iye to the left. The head of the left side is called Lower Adimula. From Lower you have what called Jano. From Jano you have what Agoro. Iye, a lot of people have heard about this song. Agoro Bogumbolu Agoro. Agoro Baba Mubadwe. This Agoro title is coined out of The man who once installed as Agoro, the man is a tall man and is wealthy. So people now started picking from the qualities of this man. And that's why you find Bogbonbolua Guru. So from here we now have Arode, from Arode to Ladin. Ladin is in charge of Obulad. From here Ishaniri, from here Ishaniri now come Lowati and Eribese. And now the same level. What we have here is the MSL. So when KBC comes out, you see them. These are the people, the traditional history. KBC, you will find part of their head barb, and the other one is not. So now we come here. This is the traditional on the sacred Adiari. Adiari is the ones you see KBC. He wears this once in a year, and the last time he did was on Saturday. So Adiari, this is just spiritually designed crown, not by anybody, it's by Lady Mary. But what you see here, there are certain features that symbolizes the kind of the supremacy of Adiari. What you have here is called Ikode. Ikode in Yoruba terms, it's only used when it's for any important thing. If you want to be installed as a chief, and that depends on how the importance of the title you're holding, they must have Ikode attached to you. And after that, you find this. Some people call it the 4 cardinal points, the 4 things, but here they call it the 4 basic instruments of life. And what you find here, I will explain it to you. These 4 can be positive and they can be negative. These 4 can be positive and they can be negative. It depends on the application. The first one is called Ile. Ile, the land. That's why you find the Bible say, Atepelo bi ile lo bi ajomi sora. Whatever structure, whatever beautifies the world is on the ground. And if at the end of the day, the whole thing still ends, it should go back to the ground. From Ile now comes Omi. No matter how, even if you see, go to the sea. If you go to the sea, you still find the surface of the land deep inside the sea. So from there, we now have what we call Ino. It could be light, it could be fire, it depends. So if it's whatever form it transforms to you, it could be for illumination so that you can see, it's also Ino. And once you can even use it for cooking and all stuff like that. But this can come in a negative form, and they call it volcano. The fourth one is air that we breathe in. So it is good for us, and it can come in another form that can be so disastrous. So these 4 things can be positive and they can be negative. So that's why Yoruba will use the 4. They use it for prayers. Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kí n tẹ̀lé yìí pẹ́ o. Tí n bá fi omi wẹ̀, ó máa kàn mí lára o. That's the second one. Iná ayé mi ò ní dòkùnkùn. Ìmọ́lẹ̀ ayé mi ò ní dòkùnkùn. That's making reference to, and atẹ́gùn tó bá fẹ́ sí mi lára, atẹ́gùn ara mi ò ní gbòdì òkùnkùn. So, but in another form, once I don't pray, the Yoruba people, the traditional Yoruba people, they're up there. Once somebody does something that is against them, they will know. I don't really want to go deep into that. So these are the things to. So here is what you find here is called shuti. Yoruba so akoyinsi ogbo shuti ori elegan. So once Kabiyesi wears this, and you have seen Kabiyesi from this angle, the better thing is your mind must be positive. Anything negative you have in your mind is always happening instantly. It's always happening instantly. If you think, you just discuss something will just fall down. So the Ari thing is so powerful, and that is why even Kabiyesi cannot even tell you how Ari will come to his head. All he does is just go into where Ari is kept and will see it, and will be certain spiritual incantation, and something will just place the area on his head. And the same way, when it gets back, the area will still go lift. So it's a spiritual thing. But you know, some people who don't understand it, and when you believe it or not, your faith is your faith. But basically, don't on no account must you underrate another person's faith. Your faith will hold you as your own faith. But once you come to say, this one is, I run on pa, it could be very disastrous. Because Yoruba people will not tell you the truth. So it's a way of warning. So it doesn't sound to be anything, but it's a friendly thing. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions to ask, I think I'll be privileged to answer. Thank you, man. You once you get to see me, you do that. But I'll keep that for him. So please, you're free to ask questions, please. Because Kabiyesi has told me I must answer your question.
The only question I have, you said is once a year.
Yes.
That the king put this on.
Yes.
So is this the original?
No, you can't find that here. You know what? Let me answer your question. It is because of because of education. That was why Kabiyesi had to do a kind of replica of this. Because you know, one thing is once you mention Adiari, and people cannot see something that would give the description, they will start to imagine about Oloshiri.